Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am doing the luxury makeup starter kit tag that was started by Michelle Wong and Angela Van Rose. So if you want to see my take on that, just stay tuned. So I'm so excited to be doing this tag because I actually think that there is a lot of information you can take from this sort of tag, and it can help you get started if you are new into the luxury beauty world, or if you want to just get started in the luxury beauty market. I thought this was fantastic. So thank you again to those ladies for starting this tag. I'll make sure to link their channels and everything down below. And this might be a little longer, so I'm just going to get right into it. So the first question is, where should someone start when it comes to luxury makeup? And in my opinion, when you're starting out in luxury makeup, your base is 1,000,000% where you should start. I think that is the most important thing. Your canvas and your base is something that I think is definitely the most important, because it is something that people are looking at when you're up close in person. And I do really believe that, just because when you are in person, you are looking close at someone's skin. And I think that everything that is sitting on top of your skin is the most important, because it really makes such a difference. When your base is flawless and perfected, it makes the most impact in comparison to like the eyes or lips, in my opinion. So I definitely think I wouldn't necessarily start with primer. I don't think that that is a necessity for the luxury beauty. So if I had to choose which items that I think are the most important, I would definitely say foundation, concealer, and powder are the absolute top three that I would invest in first. I would even go as far as to say a bronzer as well. I think anything that is sitting on top of the complexion is probably the most important to invest your money into when you're starting in luxury beauty. And I swear that just having your base in order will make all the difference, and it really truly does. So that would be my first suggestion, is to definitely find someone that has similar skin to you. So for me, I have extremely sensitive, I have to be very careful on the products I use on my skin, and I have drier skin. So if you have the same type of skin, maybe look at the products that I am interested in, and that would be really helpful for you. So that is definitely my opinion on where to start when it comes to luxury beauty. Choose a great foundation, and you can even choose a multi-purpose foundation. So maybe choose something that's more medium coverage that you can sheer out to be a more lighter coverage, and then build up to be a more kind of fuller coverage foundation, just so you can use that and utilize that for different occasions. And then you can just have your one foundation basic, then choose a really great concealer and a powder. And I think that would be great to start off on for a luxury beauty kit. Just 3 products, pick whatever 3 is important to you. For me, that would just be those 3 that I mentioned. And then the next question is there anything they should stay away from? I don't necessarily think there is like a bad luxury beauty product, but I would just say if you're investing your money, maybe the last thing you want to invest in is like a luxury lip balm. I'm sure there are many other lip balms out there that probably can do a similar job. So that would probably be my my one suggestion. I know a lot of people say like drugstore mascaras are really good, but I put such a high importance on my mascara that I need it to perform excellent. I do not wear false lashes ever, so I like to spend money on mascara. That's just a personal preference. So for me, I'd probably say like lip balm, maybe even like an eye primer. I don't necessarily think you need to go like super luxury from that. I really love the NARS Pro Primer. I think that is a fantastic one. So that would probably be the one thing I'd say you should stay away from, but I don't really have anything negative to say about any one luxury beauty product. So that is just a suggestion. The next question is, if you could only purchase one category of luxury makeup for the rest of your life, what would it be? One category of luxury makeup. So I guess for me, again, I would go back to the base, and I would probably say foundations, because I truly think that is the most important. Either between that or, that's really tough to pick between powder, concealer, or foundation. But I think if I had to, I would choose foundation, just because I think the whole experience of a luxury foundation is just probably my favorite thing. I just love how it looks on the skin and performs. Those are some of the reasons why I really like luxury foundations in particular. A lot of them have this great blurring effect, especially my favorite ones. So that is definitely the one category, if I could only choose one category for life, that I would probably spend my money on. What is one luxury makeup brand you would recommend for someone starting out? Now, this is a great question, because if it's a beginner who is just new to makeup in general, I would probably say Chantecaille, just because they do a really great job for the natural everyday makeup wear, or if you're new to makeup, everything is very light and sheer, kind of, they do a really great job at like ethereal makeup, so it just looks like you but better. And I think if you're just starting out in makeup, that would be a great place to start. all of their products are just made with such high quality as well. There's so many brands that I like though, but I'm just trying to think of like one brand where I can buy a lot of stuff from, like foundation, concealer, powder, bronzer, highlight, eyeshadow palette, and I love all their products that they make and in those categories. And I would say Chantecaille for sure. I would also think Clé de Peau. There's a few brands that are coming to mind. There's like Clé de Peau, Chanel is another brand that I think. I'm just trying to think of all the products I have that are kind of my number one favorites. I think if I had to choose between Chantecaille or Chanel, those are kind of the two that I'm leaning towards. Honestly, you can't go wrong either way. I don't have either of those counters in person, so maybe you would want to choose a brand where you can actually go physically into a store and get help that way. But I'm leaning towards Chantecaille for this answer. I think that they're just a beautiful brand in general. I love everything they stand for as well, so I think if I were to recommend one brand, it would be Chantecaille with Chanel at a close second. What is one luxury makeup brand you would tell someone to stay away from? This is another really challenging question because there's not a particular brand where I like hate every product. There's maybe just a couple of products that aren't my favorite. But I would say if you're trying to maybe get a full face from a brand, then a company that I would stay away from is like Givenchy. And it's not because I don't love their products. I absolutely love a lot of their products that they carry, but I just don't have like a favorite concealer from them or a favorite bronzer from them or a favorite blush from them or a favorite highlighter. So that's just a brand where I would tell someone to pick up like 2 or 3 items that I love from that brand versus go out and get your full face of products from that brand, if that makes sense. I hope it does. And no offense taken to that brand because I absolutely love a lot of their products. They just don't have a full face of products that I absolutely love. And then the next question is, what is one makeup brand you wish you tried sooner? So for me, I think that would also be Chantecaille. Chantecaille is a brand that I didn't really know about until a few years back. Probably when I started my channel is when I started getting more into Chantecaille. It was really hard to obtain in Canada. You could only get it at like a certain store and there wasn't much in stock there. Like they only had a few different colors. So I wish it was more widely available in Canada when it first came to the market. And I just didn't want to try a lot of their products because it was kind of a hassle with all the shipping and everything. And then I didn't want to have to ship it back if I didn't like it. But after I tried some Chantecaille products and realized how beautiful and amazing they are, it was something that I was like, oh, I kind of regretted it, being like, I wish I picked these up sooner. But I am really happy that they are starting to become more well-known and people are talking about the brand more. And it's way more easily accessible, especially where I live in Canada. So I'm very happy about that. So that's probably the one makeup brand that I wish I tried sooner, just because their products are top-notch. I feel like I'm going to be the only person that answers this next question with how I'm answering it, but the next question is, would you recommend spending money on makeup or skincare? Now, I would obviously recommend spending money on both because I think both are super important. For me, I am not a maximalist when it comes to skincare. I have extremely sensitive, very, very sensitive skin, so I have to be extremely careful with what I buy and use. But I have found a lot of great products from like Avene or Bioderma or places like that, La Roche-Posay, that are made for my more sensitive skin, but I don't have to spend an extreme amount of money. I definitely do put a little more of an investment into my skincare though, but again, I only require like 3 products for my skincare routine because I am someone who can't use 10 products in one night. But for me, I would say you could probably stay in the mid-range with skincare and you can get amazing stuff that does a great job for brightening and pigmentation and acne and all that stuff. But for me, I think when I spend more money on luxury makeup, I can tell the difference because that product is actually sitting on top of my skin day to day on a daily basis, and people are actually interacting with me more when I have product on my skin. And so I would probably recommend spending more money on makeup, but I still would say invest in luxury beauty skincare. I would just say you could stay in more of the mid-range. And I say that because I think you can still get really great skincare products that are in the more $100 range. I don't think you need to buy all your skincare from Clé de Peau that's like $500 because you can still get amazing products that are a little bit less than that really extreme high price tag. But I think investing in both, honestly, I would say if you can invest in both, invest in both. So my answer is kind of a cheat because I would just say, if you can, invest in both. Number 8 is, why do you personally love luxury makeup? And for me, I think what I love most about it is just the experience and also how I feel applying the products. Like take, for example, applying this. This is the Clé de Peau, the foundation, and it just feels so special and extravagant, even from the packaging alone. And when I apply the product, I just feel more special and confident when I apply those products because I know that they're going to look good. And it's just the experience and how I feel when I apply those products. And it's not just the experience that I get from applying the makeup. I love that because, again, applying those products just makes me feel a little bit more confident for whatever reason. Luxury packaging just makes me feel more confident. I can't deny it. And then also just the experience of going into a store that's more high-end. You get to talk to someone one-on-one and you get to gain more knowledge about the product, and you get to have someone that actually interacts with you and say, hey, I think this blush would look great on you, and I love this formula because ... And like, oh, you have dry skin that's super sensitive? Well, this is a foundation that I would recommend to you. And I love the experience because it feels like you're actually having a conversation about products that you love, and you get to hear from someone who has more expertise in that area. So I think I really enjoy that too. It just feels really nice. And then not only that, I love more like the bigger department stores. Like in Canada, we have like the Bay and Holt Renfrew. And if I'm able to actually go in there, there's multiple different counters. So you might have like Chanel, you have Dior, you have different counters. So you can get to know about more different brands than just a single counter. Like say at MAC, they just have a freestanding store. You get to know about a bunch of different products, and you can choose from each brand, maybe products that speak to you most. So I just love that. I think it's just such a special experience, and I always just love going to a department store. It's always so fun just trying out new things from new brands. I love it. Number 9, should luxury makeup brushes be invested in? I 100% absolutely think that they should be invested in. There is such a difference when you apply a product with just like a cheap old brush, or if you use something that is made with such great quality. I love my Sony G brushes and Wayne Goss brushes. They are some of my absolute favorite. The quality is just phenomenal. And again, as someone with really sensitive skin, you can feel the difference on your skin when you use a good quality brush. If you have problems with irritation or anything because some brushes feel a little scratchy, I promise you, if you invest in good quality brushes, it makes the world of a difference. I never have any issues with my Sony G or Wayne Goss brushes, and I've used them for so long. I've had some of those brushes for probably like 8-ish years, and I've never had to replace them or I've never had to throw them out. So when you invest in good quality products, like even luxury makeup, that investment to me is worth it because you get a great return investment. Like for me, I'm going to use this brush for 10 years. And yeah, I might have spent $80 on it, but I'd rather spend $80 on one brush through 10 years than spend $10 on 50 different brushes that I have to replace in 10 years. You know what I mean? Because it just ends up being the same price anyways, but you get something that's really great quality. So I definitely think it makes a difference in your application. If you really want product to apply well, highly recommend investing in some makeup brushes. Truly worth the investment, and you will notice the difference in your application. The next question is, should luxury perfumes be invested in? I think they should be invested in, and again, for luxury perfumes, I would recommend having one for summer and one for spring. You don't need to buy 10 different luxury perfumes. I'm a minimalist with most products. I don't like to have 50 different perfumes because then I get overwhelmed and I will never use any of them. I'll just reach for the same one. So for me, I like to have my winter and my summer one, or you can have like your daily perfume or your going out perfume. That's pretty much what I like to do. I wear the same perfume year round, and then I have one that I wear when I'm going out. I am very, very picky with scents too, so I need to go in and smell it in person. Otherwise, I'm not just going to blind buy it online. I need to smell it because I only like 5 perfumes because, again, I'm very picky. So for me, it's worth the investment to buy that really special perfume that I'm going to wear over and over again and that I love every time I wear. So I definitely think that luxury perfumes should be invested in, especially if you're someone that just wants 1 or 2. You might as well, because you're going to end up using the full thing. That's at least for me. Like, I love my Burberry Her perfume. I wear that on a daily basis, and I've gone through like 2 of them, and I'll go through more because I just love that scent so much. Number 11, designer or niche perfumes. And I feel like a lot of people are going to say niche perfumes, but I'm going to say designer perfumes. And I say that because with niche perfumes, I can't really smell them in person. Like, I don't have like a freestanding store or a store here where I can smell them in person. And for me, I need to smell something before I buy it. I just think that's important, especially with a perfume, because one person can really love a scent, but on you and on your body chemistry, it can smell totally different. And so for me, I would just be more comfortable being able to try more of those designer perfumes in store so I know how it's going to react with my body personally. Because one smell is not going to smell the same on another person. Just because it works for one person, your body chemistry and your pH is so different from someone else. So for me, I think that trying perfume in person is very, very important. So that's probably why I'd say designer perfume. If you do have like a niche perfume store where you can try it in person, then I'd probably suggest that. But you can't go wrong either way. Just find the perfume that you love, and I would go with that one. Question 12, where is the best place to shop when getting started? So if you were getting started in luxury makeup, here in Canada, I would suggest Holt Renfrew or the Bay because again, you get an assortment of different brands. You're just not forced to shop within one brand. Obviously, I love like Chanel and you can find so many amazing products at Chanel, but then you're just limited to that brand. If you go to the Bay or Holt Renfrew, you get Chanel, you get Dior, you get Charlotte Tilbury, you get a bunch of different options. You get Éclat, Peau, or in the States, you have like Saks Fifth Avenue, or you have Nordstrom. We have Nordstrom in Canada, just not where I live on Vancouver Island. But I would suggest those places because you can get so many different options. And I recommend shopping in those places because again, you have way more assortment. You have so many different options in different brands where they might excel. So I like that you have way more options to choose between when you have a store like that where there's so many different brands you can choose between versus you just being forced to stay within one brand. So I definitely say I would suggest Nordstrom, Holt Renfrew, the Bay, Saks Fifth Avenue, those types of places. You can talk to sales associates, or now they have those chats online where you can talk to a beauty associate online and get more information. So I definitely would suggest that. Number 13, if you only had $200, what would you buy? I feel like this was extremely challenging in Canada because our Canadian price tag is higher than in the US. But I would say if I had to choose right now, I would choose the Dior Capture Totale. This is the super potent serum foundation. So again, I would definitely suggest a foundation. And then I also would suggest the Sisley. This is the Phyto-Cernes Éclat Eye Concealer with botanical extracts, just because I think this is a great everyday concealer and you can also use it in the evening as well. So I'd recommend these two products if I had to choose two. I realize that's a very small list, but in Canada, I think this is like $115 and this is $100, so I'm already over the price tag. But another option, I would say the Éclat Peau Radiant Corrector for under eyes. That's definitely less expensive than this one. And that's just a fantastic daily concealer. It adds a beautiful amount of coverage with a slight bit of radiance, but it's not over the top. I would say that. And then if I could choose a third option, then I would go with the Éclat Peau Refining Pressed Powder. Now, if I added the Éclat Peau Refining Pressed Powder, that goes over the $200 limit. So if I had to just choose kind of two things to go with, I would start with the Dior Capture Totale Super Potent Serum Foundation. This is a foundation that is just amazing. It's amazing for daily wear. It's amazing if you're going out in the evening because it is extremely long lasting. It adds a blurring effect, a soft focus effect. It has just a slight bit of radiance to it, but it is very skin-like. It adds that really beautiful velvet natural finish to the skin. Like I said, very long lasting. It looks perfected on the skin and you can use it day and night. It has a beautiful medium coverage. And then for concealer, I would say the Sisley Eye Concealer with Botanical Extracts. This is just great if you like a fuller coverage. And if you like a more light, buildable to medium coverage, I'd go with the Éclat Peau Corrector for under eyes, just because that is so beautiful. It's a very skin-like concealer, adds a slight brightening effect, but it doesn't have the most amazing coverage. So I would just say whatever you lean more towards. If you like lighter coverage, Éclat Peau. If you like fuller coverage concealer, Sisley. And I guess that's what I would start out with if I only had $200 to buy something. Number 14, what was your first luxury makeup purchase? Did you regret it? I honestly cannot remember what my first luxury makeup purchase is. I'm guessing it was something from like NARS or MAC or something, but I don't know if you consider those luxury. So I'm gonna kind of go to like when I first bought from like Éclat Peau or Chantecaille, one of those brands. And I think the first item I bought was actually from By Terry because someone suggested, I don't even remember what the product was, but I remember I did like By Terry for a really long time because I think I tried like maybe a tinted moisturizer or something. And just, it's so fragrant that I couldn't wear it because again, I have really sensitive skin and just, I don't know if the rose does something to my skin. Now I love the By Terry Cellular Rose Brightening CC Serum, but it's so fragrant. And just a lot of their complexion products are super fragrant that I didn't love it that much, but I don't even remember what the product was. I could not tell you, but I can tell you that I don't have it in my collection now, if that tells you anything. So I guess I regretted it, but it didn't stop me from buying more luxury makeup. So again, I can't recall what it was exactly. I wish I knew. I wish I had a better memory than that, but I probably regretted it because who likes how their makeup looked when they first applied it? Probably not anyone, because I looked like trash when I first started wearing makeup. And then number 15, what is your biggest luxury makeup regret? And that's another really challenging one because I think when you regret a purchase, a lot of the times it's not necessarily like a terrible product. It maybe just didn't work for your skin personally. Like a lot of the times maybe I'll be disappointed in a foundation, but I hear other people really like it because it obviously works for their skin type. I'm not sure if I have a crazy regret. I think the thing that I probably regret most, and this isn't really necessarily luxury beauty related, but when I first started wearing makeup, I used to wear like orange foundation, and I really regret that because looking at pictures of me as a 16-year-old is just, it's very hard to look at when you have an orange face and a white body. Tragic, really. But I don't know if I have a biggest luxury makeup regret. I feel really bad trashing By Terry in this video, but their loose powder, that one was a really sad product for me because I heard so many people rave about that product. And on me, it did not work at all. It makes me look like I've aged 35 years and I just look terrible when I wear that powder. But so many people like it. But again, I don't regret that because I wanted to try it because so many other people love it and it just doesn't work for my skin personally. So that's not the end of the world. For me, it's just harder to return By Terry products. So it just has to kind of sit in my collection and not get used. So with those types of products that I can't really return, I'll just give them to other people who will probably use them. But I don't really have makeup regrets. I hate the idea of having a regret in life, even if it's just makeup. So I don't have anything really that I regret, just products that I'm probably like, were disappointed that they didn't work out for me. But that is it. That is all the questions for this luxury makeup starter kit tag. So thank you again to Michelle Wong and Angela Van Rose. Again, I will link their channels down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please feel free to answer one of the questions, like where would you suggest someone starts out when it comes to luxury makeup? Are there like top 3 products that you would recommend to someone? I would love to hear from you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you like it, and I'll see you in my next video.